All right, welcome back. So, in Napoleon Hill's book, I believe it's called How to Outwit the Devil or Outwitting the Devil, something like that. He basically, it's as if, and I don't know if he was like praying and kind of having a conversation with the devil in this book. I don't remember exactly, but it's as if he was speaking to the devil or him actually speaking to the devil, and the devil constantly throughout the book talks about how inaction, how just floating around in life, not necessarily being bad, but inaction, being, I guess you could say, lukewarm in everything, is a faster way to get to hell than actually doing the wrong thing. And it's a much easier way because so many people do it. So many people can fall into the trap of not directing their lives, of not making definite decisions. And that's like one really big part of that book. A very important part of that book. And I think it reminds me of the 6 P's, which are proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. And those 6 P's, those 6 words, are something that definitely needs to be remembered by everyone. You do not want to be the person, uh, or not the devil actually does um, want you to be uh, kind of in this limbo of not truly living, um, or just to not care, to float around. Whether or not he wants that, you still want to direct your life because you don't want to be lukewarm. And I'm not talking about being a Christian or anything like that. I'm just talking about being lukewarm in life. Most people are neutral on everything. If you ask people what they think, they go, well, I'm pretty neutral, either this way or that way, doesn't matter. Even when comes to like important things in life, they're very neutral with everything. If you walk down the street, you look at most people, they all dress the same, act the same, talk the same. Yes, if you do speak to them, you can actually see that their lives are uh, at least decently complex, like everyone's life is. But for the most part, they are the exact same as everyone else because that's the lukewarm, easy thing to do. Not to choose what you want to wear or how you want to speak or how you want to walk, even. So, the past couple of videos have all been basically based around young men and going out into the world and actually being definite, making decisions, and actually going out in the world, not just saying, well, I'll get a job and, I'll save up a little money and then I'll go to college. That doesn't even count as going into life. I don't think so. At least not unless there's purpose and direction behind it. And that's the main thing. The main point I'm trying to push in this video is that if there's no direction behind something you're doing, then it's bound to fail and it should fail. Because what's the point? I don't remember if it was Socrates or Seneca, but one of them said, I don't live to eat, I eat to live, or something like that. Um, I don't remember the quote exactly, but it was around that. There has to be purpose and direction behind the things you're doing. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have, with help, developed a basic plan for the next year of what I'm going to be doing. And as I'm creating this plan, I realize more and more how much you really need to make sure that there is constant direction in everything you're doing. So right now I have a 3 month plan. I'm 1 month into that 3 month plan, and I'm just dividing each year up into 4 quarters. And within each quarter, I'm going to be focusing on a set number of things that I want to become relatively competent in. And I want to learn a lot. I want to learn a lot of skills, uh, useful skills to life. That is not just pretend skills that will get me a good job, but if something were to go bad, that job would go away in an instant and it wouldn't matter anymore. But as I'm going through this, I'm realizing more and more that there needs to be purpose in not just every 3 months, every quarter, not just in every month, but in every day, there needs to be some level of purpose to make sure you are constantly moving in the direction you want to move in. The way I've been thinking of it is like a train, like a coal-powered engine. If you do not feed the engine, it's going to slow down. And it takes a little bit to get going. You have the slow increase in speed on the train. But if you keep feeding it coal and feeding it coal and pointing it in that direction and you keep feeding it coal, then eventually that train is going to speed up and you can keep it going. Of course, as long as you have the fuel to keep it going. But if you're not doing that every day, if there's not a bit of meaning or direction within each day, even something small, uh, you just want to have, as I'm seeing, what I think is best to do is to have one main objective for the day. Of course, you have a lot of things you want to get done. I mean, for example, a list of things I have today is work, 1 hour of chess, 30 minutes of Spanish, making this video, reading The Count of Monte Cristo, working out, um, and then a few other things for looking at guitar courses and chess courses as well. So having a list of things to get done is good, but then I just realized today that if I could just have one objective, like for example with work, um, maybe check 15 people out at the register and have a fairly decent conversation with all of them within one day. Just something like that. Some basic, uh, but helpful goal. Because, I mean, another thing I should mention is that with within this, at this job I'm working at, there's also intention and purpose behind it. I mean, of course, to make money, but also, I'm not a very social person. I'm not. I would be content not talking for a very long time. So, just talking to people and having conversations and being sociable. That's a direction I'm trying to point myself in, which is uncomfortable but important. That's another thing too, is that um, lukewarm people, neutral people, people who are in a constant limbo never go out and try to hammer against that wall of uh, uncomfortability and maybe even fear. They never do that. But there has to be some sort of direction. And now that I mentioned The Count of Monte Cristo a minute ago, very good book, by the way. I have the abridged version, but I highly recommend it. I am almost halfway through. There's going to be a little spoilers, so if you just want to skip past this part, maybe skip a minute or two away from now. But when Edmond Dantes is in the Chateau d'If, when he is in the prison, and years of his life are going away, and then all of a sudden he meets uh, Abbe Faria, I believe, or Farah, who is the priest, who is also in the prison, and the priest dug a hole trying to escape, but he dug it into Edmund's cell. So then the priest then teaches Edmund a vast number of things. Sorry, vast number of things, which within the time period, within 1 year, and it said this in the book, within 1 year, he was a different man. That's how much he learned. So, and I really do think no matter, like, if you work 40 hours a week, and I think even if you have kids and you have other responsibilities, if you create a plan for the next year, or at very least the next 3 months, and you dedicate yourself to that plan at least a little bit every day, you will be different by the end of those 3 months. And by the end of a year, you will be very different. You'll be a different man. And I think that's awesome. I think that's really awesome. So, purpose, direction, intention, being definite. That is becoming more and more important, or more clearly important, I think, at least. Don't be lukewarm. Don't allow yourself to be in a limbo. Terrible, terrible. Even if even if the devil doesn't exist, which I doubt that, but even if he doesn't, I think there's nothing good in being indefinite, for sure. But anyway, guys, like I said, definitely recommend The Count of Monte Cristo. Very good book and a good movie too. But man, as I'm reading the book more, it's definitely better, for sure. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.